Now that Season 14 is here, it's time to look at how the current meta has shifted for all the tank heroes. Hey guys, I'm Grandmaster Maniac, and today I'll be showing you what the best tank picks are going to be for the new season to help you climb. I've been a flex off-tank player since I started playing Overwatch, and started main tanking recently as well, and these are the conclusions I've come up with to help you decide what the best heroes for you to pick up this season are. If you're looking to climb this season, make sure to go check out GameLeap.com and go check out hundreds of pro guides on new heroes you're trying to pick up, or to learn about any changes or optimized gameplay tips about your favorite hero. Once again, I'm Grandmaster Maniac. Now let's go ahead and charge right on in. So first we start off with Winston. Now while the Space Scientist is a great option when your DPS both want to play flankers, I wouldn't try to one-trick him. With the rising McCree and Bastion play we'll be seeing, you'll need to be much more careful in a lot of situations. Obviously, the go-to option for dive comps, he still pairs very well with the Diva, but can also be a good pairing with a Wrecking Ball. Be sure that when diving something like a Widow or Ashe on high ground, you turn around immediately after jumping to protect yourself from taking a headshot. When there's a monkey that just won't leave you alone, you have tons of options, but my recommendations are going to be McCree or Reaper. They both offer great close range damage and can threaten a Winston space very easily, but be careful not to get outplayed by his bubble dancing. So even though Orisa hasn't gotten any changes recently, she's going to be seen much more often due to the Bastion buffs. By far, she is still the most situational tank, and she's definitely going to be the worst out of all 7 tanks if you want to try to one-trick. Your go-to maps with Orisa are going to be Nepal's Sanctum, Ilios Well, and anywhere that you have a Bastion. She pairs exceptionally well with Roadhog, especially when using the Halt Hook combo. Make sure you're placing your shield down often, but be careful whenever you think the enemy team has a Diva ult. Many Divas will try to throw their ult immediately after you use your shield to try to catch you off guard so you can't protect yourself from it. So if you're worried about a self-destruct coming in soon, try to place your shield near some natural cover you can use, or fortify and get on the opposite side of it. Also, whenever the enemy Reinhardt is trying to charge the Bastion, who will oftentimes be paired with you, make sure to step in front of the Bastion and fortify to stop the charge from hitting your Bastion, exposing the Rein to huge amounts of damage while barely taking any yourself. There's 2 ways to deal with an Orisa that's going to be holding things down too hard. So you can either get the flank with something like a Widow, Hanzo, or a Kree, take advantage of her massive headshot hitbox and take her out of the fight quickly. Or you can go the opposite route, which is going for high damage and just pounding her shield, not letting it stay up for more than a few seconds at a time. Bastion, Junkrat, Hanzo, and Roadhog are all fantastic options for this, especially when you use a combination of them. They can melt Orisa's 900 HP barrier super quickly and render her pretty much useless. Ah yes, Reinhardt. He's arguably the most well-known and most loved heroes in Overwatch. He's probably also the best tank in the game, so if you're looking for someone to one-trick, this is gonna be the tank for you. He's versatile enough that he can be run with any DPS composition, he's the backbone to GOATS compositions, and he's easy to pick up, but oh so difficult to master. You can have success with Reinhardt from basic holding right-click gameplay to 900 IQ mind games in the Rein mirror matchup. The latter, of course, being significantly more rewarding. He combos best with Zarya, as he can take the aggression while she charges her cannon off of him, and swinging hammer through her Graviton Surge will rarely not be fun. He also runs well with Diva and Roadhog though, so don't feel like you have to run a Zarya. And while his kit can definitely feel a little bit buggy at times, particularly Charge and Earthshatter, he's still a fun hero to play, and he can be run in almost any situation on any map. He's the best tank to run against Bastion comps, as he has the biggest shield and can allow your team to get to natural cover while his shield also recharges. To close the distance and really put the hurt on Bastion, have a Lucio speed boost you and Diva directly to him, have Diva defense matrix you, and go for the charge to finish him off. Make sure not to get caught out by a fortified Orisa though. The biggest changing threat to Rein is going to be coming from McCree, Ashe, and Hamster. Ashe can throw her dynamite over his shield, damaging him and any teammates close by, and McCree can flash around his shield, whether it's above, to the side, or in some cases below, bring the shield down so he can fan the hammer, or open Rein up to getting affected by something else like Earthshatter. So to deal with that as Rein, it's pretty simple. All you gotta do is just flick your shield in the direction that the object is being thrown, whether the flashbang's getting thrown above or to the side, or the dynamite's back behind you. You can just turn your shield for a quick second, block the damage, and be fine. Now, Hamster, however, is a little bit more tricky. So he's not going to be soloing you necessarily, but it's really frustrating having Hamster come in, swing around, and just knock you completely off target. So the best thing to do is either switch off of Ryan immediately, or have someone on your team make sure that they're taking care of him for you. And now we move on to the off tanks. First off, we have Roadhog, the one-man army of the tanks who can still do it all. Again, because his best main tank combination will be with Orisa, we'll be seeing more of him due to the Bastion buffs, and for good reason. The biggest issue to deal with when running a Bastion comp is going to be Diva's defense matrix, but for Roadhog Bastion, it's a thing of the past. Hook goes right through matrix and immediately stops it, allowing Bastion to mow down Diva's mech while she's hooked, and giving your team the opportunity to stop her short of having any real value. He's an excellent shield buster as well, as spacing his right click to do maximum damage is fairly easy, while also keeping you at a relatively safe range. If you can hook Bastion out of his turret form, you can clean him up fairly easily by yourself, or just give your team a free target that's probably been pissing them off for the past 3 minutes. Make sure not to use your take a breather ability until any enemies around you have exhausted their stuns, as McCree, Brig, Roadhog, and a few more can cancel the ability, leaving you at low health and vulnerable to their attacks. Make sure to use Take a Breather when affected by Ashe's Dynamite though, to keep yourself topped up and reduce some of the ult charge she could potentially gain off of the attack. Again, because of Bastion's changes, Diva will definitely be seeing more playtime. Defense Matrix is the best ability to help deal with the Bastion, as it blocks 100% of the damage for a full 2 seconds if used properly. You can also fly forward into Bastion while using Matrix as well as your micro missiles to remove his armor and make him a little bit squishier for your team to finish off quickly. She can be run with any main tank, making her the most versatile off tank, and does significant damage while still having the ability to keep your teammates safe. Make sure you're using Matrix to save teammates anytime you can when one is in danger, such as during Graviton, McCree's Flash Fan combo, or even while they're being hooked. While you won't always be able to stop all of the damage, you can often negate enough of it to allow your healers to take care of them before they fall. The other 2 off tanks can be great ways to deal with Diva, as Roadhog's hook combo can do huge amounts of damage to her, and Zarya can often get significant levels of charge off of her micro missiles, allowing her to shoot her beam right through defense matrix completely unfazed. Definitely a solid option if you're looking to one-trick something this season, but that's not really any news since that's pretty standard of Diva. So, even though Wrecking Ball has been in the game for a while, many people still don't really know how to play him properly. Oftentimes you'll hear people in-game claim that Hamster is an off tank and a main tank, and while this can be true at the top level of play, I would not recommend running him as anything other than an off tank. He can be a great disruptor, but more often than not, your team will be wanting a shield to protect them from the hail of gunfire on the battlefield. The only way I would really recommend running him is as an off tank with a Winston, since you can dive in with the monkey and pile drive your targets, allowing Winston more time to zap them while also having a decent close to mid-range hit scan tank to help finish off targets, or having someone switch to him while going for stall since he can move out of spawn very quickly and his adaptive shields can give him a lot of sustain when there are multiple enemies around him. Your biggest threats this season are definitely going to be Bastion and pretty much anything that can stop your movement, such as Sombra, McCree, and Roadhog. Keep an eye out for the occasional Junkrat as well, as his trap can sometimes be hard to spot when moving too quickly and makes you a very easy target. I wouldn't really say there's good one-trick potential with him though, since really Diva is pretty much always going to be better, but if you must, go ahead. And lastly, we have Zarya. She is almost as strong as ever. The McCree buffs don't affect her too much as it's fairly easy to bait out a flashbang with Bubble, but definitely keep an eye out for Bastion. While high damage normally equals high charge for Zarya, Bastion can pour out so much damage so quickly that your bubble will often be gone before you can get your pinky off of your shift key. If the enemy team is running a Bastion, go back to spawn and switch to Diva. Otherwise, she's an amazing pick to be run with Ryan as she can easily have the highest damage output with good bubble management. One mistake I do see Zarya players make a lot is that they try to go for a big 6-man Graviton every time, and that's just not going to happen. A while back, the range on her Graviton was reduced, making it harder to grab so many people at once. Now, if you can get 2 to 3 players when your team is there to follow up, that's already a massive grab with huge potential to win the fight. If you ever think that the enemy Zarya has Graviton Surge ready, make sure to have a defensive ult, such as Sound Barrier or Transcendence to keep your team alive. And that's going to do it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. And remember, if you really want to up your game and take the next step to becoming a better player, you can find guides like this one made by other top level players by clicking the link below to GameLeap.com. Make sure to like this video, share with friends, and subscribe to stay up to date on the channel's newest releases.